basketball quickly approaching, we had the chance to catch IU senior Anthony Leal. Anthony tells us what inspired his now viral decision to pay off his sister's student loans, how the Hoosier basketball culture is changing, and the Bloomington native shares his can't-miss spots when introducing rookies to IU.
Anthony has been an ambassador for Project 44 for the past 2 seasons, and we're so thankful for his continued partnership. And more importantly, the work he's doing to inspire a selfless culture within IU basketball. Listeners, we present to you Anthony Leal, Hoosier for Good and Champion for Change.
Anthony, so great to have you. I know this is such a busy time of year. You're into the thick of it. Basketball season quickly approaching. You are into your fall semester. What is this stretch of time like for you as a student athlete, not only juggling, of course, preparing for the season, but also your master's degree?
It's a lot, we had a quick little couple weeks off between our summer training and school starting and getting back into it. But now that we're fully in the swing of things, really tired. Body hurts a lot, and you don't have much free time, but it's what I'm here to do, and I love it.
When you don't have much free time, the schedule's so demanding. What is I hate to say like a typical day, because I don't think there are many typical days in the life of a student athlete in the Big Ten, but average kind of schedule for you. What is your routine when you're talking about, early part of the fall, ramping up now into the season?
Today, for example, we had a conditioning workout as a team at 6 a.m. And then I went and did a shooting workout before coming on this podcast. And then I'll work out again this afternoon. And we have a team meeting this afternoon. And then I'll have class and at some point maybe try to play some golf. But I'm not sure if I'll be able to squeeze the golf in today. So,
how's the golf game?
It's coming along. I've made a lot of progress in the last 2 years. I'm still not where I want to be, but I got goals and I'm on the way. So.
Is that your post-retirement plan?
I would not be mad at all if I got to play golf for a long time. But no, I don't know. Just be good enough to compete and have fun with my friends and just go out there and have a good time.
Is this something you might do with teammates, or is it guys like outside of basketball? Because I feel like that's probably a pretty good bonding opportunity off the court if you're taking a couple of your teammates out there.
Yeah, a mixture of both. We've got a lot of guys on the team this year that do like to golf. So I'll play with guys on the team, and then we've actually had a couple of matches where we'd play against like a 4 group of football players or people from other sports at IU. So really just whoever will come out and play, and it's usually a good time.
Is it like a competitive outlet for you, or?
I'd say, yeah, golf's definitely been a competitive outlet. Anytime I can play any type of sport, whether it's ping pong, golf, pickleball, basketball, it's a great chance to compete, and I'm a really competitive person. But I think I really love it because it's an outdoor activity and something I can do in the sun or out, in nature a little bit, whereas, basketball, we're inside 99% of the time. So it's a good balance.
For sure.
And you opted to come back to IU for a 5th year, probably mostly to be able to play golf, with a couple of guys there around all the great courses in Monroe County. But truly, in addition to the opportunity to play another year for the Hoosiers, what lured you, back to Bloomington for this 5th year?
Just having some unfinished business, coming back, being the oldest guy now, being the leader. It's a lot of responsibility, but I really, embrace that and want to try to play for a Big Ten championship this year. So I think that's probably the main thing. And then obviously pursuing my master's right now. So I'll have that finished by the time the season's over. So the timing worked out really great. And obviously being able to stay home and be in my hometown with my family and everything is an added bonus.
And what does that leadership mean or look like for you? You said you're the oldest, but how does that translate on and off the court? How does that mean you interact with your teammates, with your coaches, with the community? What's that look like?
Obviously, by now I've got the trust of most of the coaches. They know what I'm about. They know how hard I work, and they know, from the mental side of things, I know their game plans and their strategies and everything. So on the court, just being a vocal leader and helping, maybe new guys, whether it's freshmen or transfers, start to adjust and figure out, what we want to do as a team. So leading in that way, and then off the court, with guys moving onto campus and this being their first time in Bloomington, it can be a little bit of a culture shock. But for me, being born and raised here, I kind of know the ropes of everything around Bloomington and in ways that I can help other guys, whether it's someone who can help them out their TV or where can they go get their hair cut or where should they eat, just small things like that. But just being a reliable guy and someone that my teammates can trust and lean on whenever they need help.
Okay, where are you sending people when you're like, this is a spot you got to go? These are my favorite places. What are your go-tos for the newbies in Bloomington?
It depends. If we're talking about food, I like Da Vinci. There's a lot of different, local staples here that have a lot of history. So whether it's Yogi's or Nick's or Pizza X or Mother Bear's, Buffalo's, restaurants like that. But for the most part, it just depends what they're looking for. And as I build a relationship with them, I know, what kind of answer they're looking to get. So I adjust depending on who it is.
Little Zagreb always gets a vote in my book.
Definitely.
If you're going for really good steak in Bloomington,
Definitely.
post game, especially like post football game, if you're hanging out, that's certainly one
Right.
of my go-to spots. You're a leader. You mentioned both on and off the court, and going viral is not always a good thing, but your story of going viral is the most positive possible when you use part of your NIL to pay off your sister's student loans. Could you ever have imagined, one, the type of reaction that you would get from her, and two, the reaction that there would be across social media to that act?
Knowing her, I kind of knew her reaction would be what it was. But no, I didn't expect it to get that much attention. And I always kind of had dreamed and intended to be able to help her out in some way. I just didn't know I'd be able to do it while I was still in college. And, when my freshman year, NIL wasn't a thing. So it didn't really cross my mind that I would be able to make enough money to do that sort of thing. But once I was able to, and it happened, it was a really special moment, and it's definitely paid off for me.
What inspired you to do that for her?
She's the reason that I've kind of played basketball and the whole reason I started. She's 17 months older than me, so being my older sister, she used to play a lot, and she used to beat me a lot in the driveway until I was old enough and bigger than her and everything. But no, she went to play in college when I was still in high school and ended up having some career-ending injuries, which was a really, hard thing to watch her go through. But once that happened, I switched my jersey number over to number 3, which was the number that she wore when she was able to play. So just kind of being able to play and let her live vicariously through me while I'm playing here and living out our dream together has been very special. So it's just a bond that we have.
When you started kind of considering that you were going to do this and kind of putting the pieces together behind the scenes, how did you navigate, who was part of that process? Did you work with the school, with the team, with your parents? What did the effort look like to kind of put this together and then, ultimately unveil it to her with Christmas morning, I think, right?
I told my dad right when NIL started that it was kind of my goal and my plan. So any deal I had got for the first year and a half or so, I just kind of put away and saved. And then eventually I kind of asked my dad, how do I actually do this? How do we figure out what the number is, how to make it all work? And so he's really the only person that actually knew what I was doing. I don't even know if I had told my mom until Christmas morning. But nobody, my coaches, teammates, teachers, friends, nobody really knew. And honestly, nobody was really supposed to know. But then once that video got posted, it kind of just blew up. And at that point, it was too late to hide anything. So we just kind of spread some good news and some Christmas spirit.
Now you wear her number. And of course, this story is out there publicly, and you're kind of literally wearing this initiative and this energy of paying it forward and giving back daily. What does that feel like for you?
Right.
Knowing that, you're very literally and symbolically demonstrating the idea about helping others.
You don't do it with the intention of getting all this, publicity and promotion and everything, but it's definitely a positive that's come from it. I find that once or twice a year, some big media outlet will bring it up again, and then, messages and emails and texts and DMs start to come in, and just of people saying how much they respect me and how much they're inspired by it. And I think that's been the most lasting impression for me, is how many random people will just reach out and say, hey, I really saw what you did. That's amazing. I really admire you for that. And that's something I aspire to do one day. I think just being able to get that sort of recognition and know that other people are working to do the same thing is really awesome.
Anthony, you mentioned that this wasn't something that was an opportunity or a possibility early in your career as a student athlete. How are you seeing these doors continuing to be open in your college careers and providing you, opportunities, whether it's to stay in school maybe longer, pursue further degrees, do things off the court? What are the opportunities that are now being presented for yourself, for your teammates through this new avenue?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. Each of us have the opportunity to make some money now, which is great. It's really helps our lifestyle. But I think the most important thing is like spreading awareness that you can use that money to set yourself up for the rest of your life or to change someone else's life if you use it smartly. So I think just spreading that notion that you don't have to go out and spend it on things that aren't actually going to help you in the long term, and you can spend it on things that are going to really make a difference for someone or for yourself or your family is really special for us at our age. Some freshmen coming in now are 18, 19, maybe even 17 years old, getting enough money to, help their parents out of debt or different sort of opportunities. I think just that sort of possibility now is something that's really great out of NIL.
One of the things I find most impressive is how many student athletes aren't just using this for their own benefit, but they're using it to give back and to advance others. What are some of the ways in which that you have seen your teammates or other people really, get involved that have been encouraging to you maybe in this space and that further motivate you to continue to find ways, obviously within your own family, you've already accomplished that, but maybe what else might be out there to which can, benefit from this? And I'm sure that you get a lot of motivation from that as well, seeing how far you can have an impact.
We've been given a platform and most of us, we talk a lot, with this platform, we have an option to do something great with it or not make the most of it. So I think most of us have looked for opportunities to give back, whether it's on campus in Bloomington or maybe at home for people who aren't from Bloomington. But I think just find different ways to donate or to change others' lives, whether it's your family or, just random strangers is really, really special. And it's something that a lot more people are starting to do now, which is great.
Do you feel like, you mentioned before that, your leadership within the team's kind of taking shape in the day-to-day, right? Of where to go eat or where to get your hair cut or kind of how to navigate Bloomington. I'm curious if you feel like your role in kind of inspiring this give back mentality is also part of that leadership and building this culture within an IU men's basketball team and potentially seeing some of those younger teammates and, incoming freshmen having that lay of the land and understand this is something I can do from the beginning because of your example.
The culture since when I was a freshman has completely shifted, and it's not just credit to me, but a credit to a lot of the guys and just everyone buying in and being about the right things. But it's definitely something I came in with the intention of trying to do is help change the culture and help make things different around here and set a standard to where, excellence can be achieved because we've got this foundation set of so many different qualities, whether it's selflessness or just working hard and doing things for the right reasons. So making that sort of attitude the regular and sort of a contagious mindset has been really beneficial for all of us.
When we look at it from an organization, Project 44 is about inspiring a culture of yes, right? It's the idea that we have some element of gift, privilege, whatever it is. But what are we doing to leverage that for the benefit of others? And how do we inspire people to actually get up and move and act and do something bigger and greater than ourselves? So, when you use words like selflessness and, those elements within building your team, what sort of impact or what's the difference you feel that a culture of yes or that yes mentality, yes, I can help, yes, I want to be part of that, yes, I will, offer my name here or whatever. What kind of change do you think ultimately you anticipate? What are the ripple effects of that?
That's what it's all about is, buying in and being a part of something bigger than yourself. You learn that really quickly, being a part of a team and trying to compete at a high level is if you're not willing to buy in and, maybe sacrifice a little bit of your own well-being for the betterment of the team and just the overall goals that you have as a group, then you're not going to be able to have success. So just saying yes and buying in, whether it's to Project 44, to Indiana basketball, or to whatever it is the first step towards making the right decision and being able to be a part of something special.
Anthony, being a guy who's from Bloomington, you were Mr. Basketball in the state of Indiana. How much pride do you take in seeing the strides that this program has taken, the culture shift that there is, and the point that this team is now going into the 2024 season and being a team, like you said, we want to contend for a Big Ten championship. You want to make that tournament run.
That's what it's all about, and I hope that when I'm done playing here, that's part of my legacy, is just that I was able to make a difference and change the culture a little bit and set the program up for success in the future and maybe inspire some people along the way. But I just have always known that it's bigger than, the basketball side of things and the stats and the wins and losses. But there's a lot more of an impact that can be made in the background on a day-to-day basis, which I've had to really embrace.
And what is that kind of ultimate impact? If you think about it, and obviously it's difficult to predict the future, but if you could kind of vision whatever it is in the future down the road where you have inspired something, that something occurred because you're there, what do you think that looks like?
Growing up in Bloomington, being a fan of Indiana and the basketball players, I knew how much I looked up to the guys who were on the team when I was a kid. So for me, it's maybe there's a kid right now in Bloomington, in Indiana, anywhere in the United States that's watching basketball and they notice some qualities of me that they want to reflect in themselves, and then it becomes contagious in their community. So I think just acting the right way and knowing that I have this platform and there's some younger kids who may be aspiring to be where I am or even, higher than the level I'm at. I think just keeping the right mindset and having the right priorities is something I really hope that other people can notice and see and kind of pass along.
And I'm not even a kid. I'm a grown adult, but I'm inspired by what you do. Like, you make me want to do more things and have a greater impact and use the platform. So I appreciate that. And being a fellow Hoosier, thank you for the impact that you're having, the influence that you're having, your leadership on and off the court. It is evident day in and day out, and so excited to watch your team, what you guys do this season. We'll be rooting for you every step of the way, and hopefully I see you at Little Zagreb at some point, celebrating a Hoosier victory this basketball season.
Of course.
Awesome. Anthony, thank you so much. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Finding 44. If you liked what you heard, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review. Follow Project 44's mission at project44.org and find us on social media at Join Project 44.